everyone, welcome to Let's Get Real. Thank you so much for joining me. Today I'm going to be talking to you about how I invest in my future by maximizing my contributions in my workplace pension. Pensions can really be an important wealth building tool. I really underestimated the power or the significance of using a workplace pension to put money away for the future. I also want to be clear that a workplace pension is not the only way you can put money away for retirement. And if this doesn't work for you, that's not to say that there aren't alternatives, so you might need to seek help for your particular situation. So to be clear, guys, I am an employee, I work for an organization, so the pension that I am referring to throughout this video is going to be my workplace pension, or otherwise sometimes called an occupational pension, which is done through my job. But there are other ways that you can put towards a pension. You could have a SIPP if you are self-employed, for example, or anybody can have an ISA. I am going to be focusing very largely on the workplace pension, so I'm not going to go into too much detail about SIPPs or ISAs, but I will put some links in the description box below, so if you want to check those out. Most of us don't really bother about the pension. The first time that many of us probably really looked at the pension was when we got enrolled into it by our employer, and that's because they have to do it automatically. Even worse, if you were anything like me, when I used to get enrolled into the workplace pension, I used to opt out at the first available opportunity that I had. I really just thought it was a waste of time. I thought it was something I didn't have to worry about till the future. But unfortunately, if you don't deal with it now, then there will be nothing in the future for you to have to live on in retirement. It is most likely that many are probably just making the minimum contribution towards the pension, which is something about 3 to 4% at the moment, because that was exactly what I was doing. Since looking at my financial situation and trying to become more financially independent at an earlier age, I've been looking very closely at my future and what it's going to look like, how I'm going to arrive at my destination. And so the pension was one of the things that I ended up reviewing. So usually when you get paid, a percentage of your salary gets put into a pension fund. And so you don't actually ever get to see that money, and that money is taken out before you are actually taxed. It's most likely your employer would also make a contribution towards your pension fund. This is really important, guys, because somebody is literally giving you free money. Okay, it's not exactly free, you have to work for them, but you get the point. And then on top of that, for every contribution you make into your pension fund, this is then also boosted by government tax relief. The amount of tax relief that you pay is based on which rate of tax that you pay. So, to put this into context for you, a basic rate taxpayer would get relief of 20%. So if you were to be investing £4,000 every year into your pension, you would get tax relief of £1,000. So a higher rate taxpayer, on the other hand, gets 40% relief. So if they were to invest the same £4,000 into their pension pot, they would get a tax relief of £2,666. So effectively, the higher rate of tax you pay, the more relief you get in your pension. I'd say this is a good incentive to earn more money, but then you also pay higher tax, so swings and roundabouts. So like most people, I was actually only contributing the minimal amount each month towards my pension. This was something like £150 per month. I went to a calculator, a retirement calculator, which I will link in the description box below. And I worked out that if I was to retire in something like 34 years, which is the estimated date for me, I would only have about £130,000 in my pension pot that I was supposed to live on for the rest of my life. That's not a lot of money. I know a lot of people who are retired who are struggling financially. I really believe personally that I would love my golden years to be time that I'm going to enjoy and not just to have to endure. So I thought, I've got to do something about this. I need to see how I can improve this. But then I realized I could increase my contribution to 5% and my employer would match me for £2 to every £1 that I put in. Did you hear me, guys? Free money. £2 for every pound that I put into my pension. So essentially, I put £1 in, they put £2 in. Now, it doesn't sound like a lot of money, but if we're talking of a period of 34 years, and I do appreciate it could be shorter for you, but I'm talking over a period of 34 years, that is going to make a difference if you understand the power of compounding interest. So not only that, I also realized that if I actually went up to 7%, what they will then do is they will match me £1.50 for every £1 that I put in. Guys, free money. It made sense. I absolutely jumped on it. I wanted to do this. So what I did, I called the HR up and I said, I would like to increase my contributions, please. And then they responded and said, oh, have you heard of salary sacrifice? Would you like to do this? I had no idea what it was. They sent me the paperwork. I had a look at it. I still didn't understand it, but from what I understood of it, they said, more money is going to go into your pension. Because you're going to be paying less taxes, you're actually going to get more money paid to you. What? So I said, yes, please, sign me up. Let's do it. So I went back to the calculator and worked out what my 7% contributions will actually look like in 34 years, or estimated to be. And I was astonished. It went from something like 130,000 to 174,000. That's amazing. So just to be clear, I started off making the minimal payments, which was going to work out to be approximately £130,000. And then when I called to increase this to the 7%, where they were going to be matching me, it was going to increase my pension pot to about £175,000, which is a difference of about £45,000. Doesn't sound like a great deal, or does it sound like a great deal? Sounded like a great deal to me. So then when I went to find out about how I can increase my contributions, I was told about this salary sacrifice, which I will also link information to in the description below. But ultimately, what this meant is that the contributions that was going to be going into my pension pot was going to be something like £550. Now, I'm not paying the £550. As a matter of fact, I'm paying less than what I was paying initially. It's a joke. I don't get it. But ultimately, something like £550 now goes into my pension pot every single month. So I worked out that this would be equivalent to something like £316,000 in the next 34 years, give or take. That's pretty much almost 3 times the amount that I originally started off with. And in the long run, I haven't lost anything. So guys, this video is just to encourage you. Please go have a look at your pensions. Speak to your HR department. If there is any way that you can increase it and it's going to help you, I'm not saying this is going to be applicable to everybody because every company is different. Please have a look, see if there's any way you can increase it. Is it going to benefit you any better to do any of the things that I've suggested? If it doesn't, there are other options. You could consider opening an ISA. The only issue with that in terms of retirement is that you're not going to be getting the tax relief and your employer is not going to be contributing into your ISA for you. But ultimately, you are still getting this compounding effect. So you could have your workplace pension and also have an ISA alongside it. If your pension pot is not very big at the moment and you want to increase it, you can also make payments into your pension fund yourself. So you don't need to do it through work. And that's something that I think a lot of people don't realize, that that's one other way you can boost your pension pot. The other thing you can also look at doing, and this is also applicable for people who are self-employed, is you can look at opening a SIPP. This is for if you want to manage your pension fund yourself, then anybody can open a SIPP. So it doesn't matter if you're working, if you're a student, the same applies for an ISA. But anybody can open an ISA. There are different types of ISA, lifetime ISAs, there are stocks and shares ISAs. There is a whole range of things, guys. The point I am making here and now is, if you have an opportunity and you can afford to invest in your future, guys, the time is now. You just need to make sure you are putting something away for the future. We don't know what's going to happen in the future. We don't know if there's going to be a state pension. We have no idea. So literally, your future lies in your hands. That's it, guys. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope you got some value out of this video. I'm really trying to make sure that I get my point across. Please hit the like button if you enjoyed watching the video. Please share this video with as many people as you think will benefit from it, because I think a lot of people are missing out. And also, if you could put comments below if you understand the salary sacrifice, if there are any other ways that I could save for retirement that I haven't mentioned, please feel free to share with me. I am always open and willing to learn. If you haven't already subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, and I will catch you in the next video. Toodles!